Today in the crypto space, we see the market showing a bit of volatility. Bitcoin right around $104,500, testing those critical levels. Ethereum still around 2,500, also at a critical level. However, both heavyweights are still holding their structures, and the rest of the crypto space is pretty much hesitant with a mix of green and red, waiting for the heavyweights to make some decisions. In today's video, I want to talk about the general market. I want to use Bitcoin as a leading indicator, but more importantly, guys, I want to focus on Ethereum. Of course, Ethereum is that indicator for the altcoin season, and the question is, are we going to get one? So you know what? Let's talk about the news, let's analyze the charts, and let's strategize to capitalize. Welcome to the channel. My name is Mike, and let's get right into it, guys. If you're new to the channel, welcome. On the channel, we talk about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all the altcoins. Looking for opportunity, whether we go up or down, bearish or bullish, it doesn't matter. All we want to do is stay one step ahead of the market so that we can capitalize on any of the volatility. And if you appreciate the strategy, subscribe to the channel, click the bell so you don't miss out on any of my future videos, including the live streams at 8 p.m. EST, where we talk about crypto news and price action. Guys, if you have any projects you want me to cover here on the channel, feel free to let me know in the comment section below. You can hit me up on the socials. The links are in the description. Better yet, guys, join the Discord. The Discord is where it's at. Lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and learning material. The best part is it's absolutely free. All right, guys, let's begin. Let's see what's going on here with this market, right? Obviously, you can see that the trading volume, let me just quickly get to the first page here because I was exploring the lower caps, but you can see that their overall market cap right now is at about 3.4 trillion dollars, give or take, but it's not looking good. It's not looking good, guys, because if we start breaking below these lows, the structure has changed. Essentially, we're continuing a downtrend in a lower low confirmation. Not a good look. But the good news is that the trading volume is very stagnant. You can see the trading volume is kind of rolling over. Maybe we're going to see a lack of trading volume, which means that the market participation is not here for this dip, if it does happen. So it's either a fake out, a quick sweep of the lows and then get back above, or maybe we hold support because there's not enough consensus to actually break those support levels. And of course, if you're a bull and you're here waiting for bullish momentum, that's what you're hoping for. Of course, we have JP still speaking. At the end of the day, he's very neutral. No interest rate changes. None of that's happening. As expected, guys, more blah, blah, blah. Nothing really happening. Is he dovish? Is he hawkish? At the end of the day, guys, we can, scrutinize all his little words. At the end of the day, I don't care. Honestly, at this point, I'm tired of waiting. I'm tired of the markets going sideways. I'm trading the trends. I'm trading the price action. And that's what matters most to me. Ultimately, a lot of these projects, a lot of altcoins, a lot of the market is at horizontal levels of support, including Bitcoin, Ethereum, and many other altcoins, guys. You can see they're planking going sideways, desperately looking for support. We have some of the altcoins coming down. Of course, a lot of them are down approximately, I would say down approximately 2%, maybe up 2%, give or take, fairly neutral. We got Polkadot, Big Ed token coming down. We have Aave and Pi and many others, and then we have some, little runners, little bounces, let's call them, 2% to the upside, 3% to the upside. So very neutral day, guys, ultimately, but very volatile. Why? Because we're at critical levels. The volatility, the emotion is there. Look at Caspa down 2.5%. We have Gate down 2%, and many others, guys. It's not just these. There's many, but then also, again, there's a few in the green, but not by much. So neutral, neutral, neutral. I am not expecting anything crazy. In fact, like I mentioned last night on the live streams, guys, if you miss out on the live streams, that's very unfortunate. Join the live streams. Feel free to check those out, 8 p.m. EST. But I did mention that I'm not interested in buying every single little dip. And the reason why is because I don't want to run out of capital. Right? And it's not because, we can't keep on funding our account until we're dry. It's not the reality. What we really have to do is strategically deploy capital so we can maximize the impact to our portfolio, to our average entry. We want to reduce our average entry costs on all of our positions. And the only way to really do that is to buy on the dips, not buy within the range, within a tight range, buy every little 4%. All you're really doing is increasing position size, right? Not really decreasing your average cost, right? That's the reality. So This is where we are right now. I think the market is giving us that opportunity to either see a bit of a dip here, or if you're on the sidelines, you're buying into a great risk to reward ratio opportunity. All right, guys, let's jump into some of these charts. Guys, I know you're here to talk about price action. Let's begin looking at Bitcoin because I want to just see what's going on here with the heavyweight, just as a leading indicator, and then we'll talk about Ethereum. As you can see, Bitcoin is at the bottom of the range. We've been here before many times. We've gotten bounces many times. My only issue is on the previous bounces, either we double topped or made a lower high. That's not something that I like to see, right? Because it essentially starting to show follow through from the divergence from this higher high. And if you kind of see the oscillators, even on the daily, if you can go on the daily, you can kind of see that we're still in that bearish divergence type of scenario. Okay, so looking at these two tops right here, there was a Class C bearish divergence, or even, a follow through right here with this confirmation low, a lower high. It's not good, right? And then what about if we continue getting oversold and we see the momentum getting in below the 30, and obviously that's going to bring some more price action to the downside, and that is going to be the opportunity where you can make the most impact on your portfolio to drag your average costs down. EMAs are facing down here. Red histogram bars are still looking, this still looks bearish, unfortunately. Although we are in the bullish control zone, we're still a little bit bearish here. And of course, the target for me, the point of interest for me right now, the first spot is at about 97, 96,000, right around here. And then if that doesn't hold, guys, unfortunate, 92, right around here, the next level of liquidity that's definitely here, right within this order block, I'm interested. However, I'm not going to get aggressive until I see some price action showing me some sort of signal. I have been deploying some right into here. I have good positions built out into this level, and I'm hoping that they hold steady. But ultimately, this could turn into a sideways scenario where we have a quick exchange of hands at this zone, and then we see Bitcoin bounce to the upside, because the bullish thesis is still intact unless we break below $101,000. Okay, so we're still okay. This bottom needs to be protected at all costs, right? And because then we totally confirm follow through to the downside, and it's likely that we get oversold. And just to mention, as long as we hold the chop zone, we could get a bounce off the chop zone and get overbought once again. And you can see that the market is not really that, aggressive in pushing down, right? You can see the lack of volume on the downtrend, right? So without volume, we don't have market participation. Without market participation, it's likely that we do not break resistance. But at the end of the day, guys, we got to pay attention here. For me, I'm paying close attention at this level. Now let's jump right into the ETH chart. Of course, we're going to talk about ETH today, because ETH at the end of the day is the indicator for altcoins. And you can see that if a weak Ethereum means weakness for the alts, it means weakness for risk on assets. Now, ultimately, guys, we've been tracking this level over and over and over on a daily basis, as Ethereum and Bitcoin both within their very comfortable range. And you see the range is very well defined. The risk to reward ratio is key. If we start breaking this bottom right around 2,300, maybe even this wick below 2,300, slightly below, right around that level, guys, it's not an exact accurate science here. We're just trying to zone in on where the levels of liquidity are at. And you can see that this is the supply and demand zone, the order block with a lot of supply and demand. And below that, there's very emotional zones, because there's liquidation levels, there's stop hunts, there's long positions ready to get in and buy the dip at those liquidation levels. Now, what we really want to see is support here. The risk to reward ratio is getting better and better and better as we do come down closer to previous lows, which means that the incentive to go in long right here, if you are looking for great positions from a position of strength, these are the zones that you got to watch out. This is a trading moment, right? Horizontal support. We could come down for those sweeps, back test and bounce, and continue going to the upside. But until then, guys, we're desperately looking for horizontal support. Let's get into lower time frames here on ETH to see what's really happening. On the 6 hour, we're not getting much. Let's take the oscillators out. Let's see if we're already oversold or overbought. You can see that we haven't really gotten overbought, oversold in a good while. The last time was here, and it wasn't even that strong, to be honest. And we're very choppy. We haven't been getting oversold for a good while. Let's entertain the fact that there is a volume gap that can cause the price, the Ethereum price, to come down to about 2,000, 1,800. This is still a very valid level. There's an EMA here, the 200 EMA on the 6 hour, ready to act as support. And on the higher time frames, on the daily, that's going to be the 50 EMA. EMA. Okay, so it's not bad. We're still holding good levels of EMA support. Again, the trend, look at the bearish divergence, is still here on the daily. Higher highs on the price action, lower highs on the momentum, and like very similar to Bitcoin, guys, if it gets its follow through and gets oversold, expect the price to fall through this volume gap. Expect the price to come down here. Again, a level of which you can make the maximum impact on your portfolio to accumulate. So that way, and I'm not saying to only buy ETH or only Bitcoin, I'm saying that's where you're going to see the rest of the space on a fire sale, where you can improve your average entry across all your spot bags. Buying all into this tight range doesn't improve your average entry, it just increases your position size, therefore taking on more risk on volatility. So you can see EMAs are still facing down, red histogram bars, that's bearish. This is not really looking the greatest, but again, we could hold support on the chop zone and get a nice bounce of relief to the upside and back to the lower. Let's get onto the 4 hour. You can see that horizontal not really doing anything. The volatility is coming in hot right now and getting oversold. Now the question is, do we get a bullish response where we make a higher high? That's the only thing that we can hope for right now, because ultimately this high was pathetic, right? Very, very weak dead cat bounce. Now the next bullish one, let's see if we can make a higher high above this one for sure. And then ideally we can slam right above that one. And guys, obviously nobody knows if that's going to happen. All we do know is that right here, risk to reward ratio, stop losses below. This is the best risk to reward ratio you can get right now on the Ethereum chart, the current data that we have. And in addition, preparation for a potential rollover and a breakdown down to $2,000. Guys, it's unfortunate that we have bearish theses sometimes, but we have to have them. And it's also very unfortunate that the bearish thesis at the current moment, right, is quite strong. Unfortunately, given the circumstances across the world, given the chart at the current moment, with the volume gap and the fact that we're putting pressure at horizontal support, it's unfortunate that the bearish thesis for this dip is still there. Now, I just want to say, just because the bearish thesis on that time frames is strong, it doesn't mean that it's going to invalidate the up and coming rally to the upside, which I mean is the big picture. Look at this, guys. Just hear me out. And this goes for Bitcoin as well. Look at this rounded bottom. Even if we retrace down to 2,000, as long as we make another bottom here and we hold it and we go up for another higher high, guys, this is still fine. Higher lows, go up for another higher high, and we're in an uptrend. And that's the same for Bitcoin. Remember, Bitcoin has a lot of downside potential to still come down and still remain super bullish. Why? Because retracements happen in this space. And that's the truth. The only problem is that we're running out of patience and we're running out of time, per se, based on market cycles, right? And obviously, again, the global scenario is not definitely helping our portfolios lately. So we got to show a lot of patience, guys. This is what we got. If I've offered you any value in this video, do the channel a massive favor. Slap the like button. It does really help out with the algorithm. If you want to follow me on the socials, the links are in the description. Feel free to join the Discord, guys. The Discord is where it's at. Lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and learning material. The best part is it's absolutely free. Take care, guys. See you tonight at 8 p.m. EST. And don't forget, buy the dip.